From the land of conjurers, flying through the internet to your device like a UAP, hauntingly unexplained and downright weird, this is the Witching Hours, and we are ready to take off in the flash of an eye. Good evening to one and all, wherever or whenever you are listening to this program. I am Jonathan Frost, and joining me tonight is the medium Jenny Lee, and we also have on, to start off our predictions night, the Priestess of Wonderland, Allison. How are you all doing this evening?
Just lovely.
Doing just lovely. Excellent.
Good. How are you?
So, welcome everyone in chat. We have a rowdy group here already. Welcome in Keisha, Journey of Self-Discovery. We got a bunch of people hanging out here. We have Tara Mama, who's going to be joining us here in a little while. So welcome in Amber, Dragon Jules. This is our annual show. We will be going over predictions for 2023 that were done a year ago. And then we're going to have predictions for this upcoming year of 2024.
Yay.
I hope everyone had a absolutely splendid and is having a very good holidays and had a wonderful Christmas and all of those things. We've been pretty busy, so I think we're kind of just getting into the groove again here.
we just came back from North Carolina, where we got to meet a Priestess of Wonderland at the Paul Bunyan statue. If you didn't see that picture, you need to go over to Discord.
Yeah.
It was so awesome. She got out of the car and she said, "You are real people." It was great. So, Frosty, what did we say last year about this year? Because none of us could remember, because that was like forever ago.
So we'll go. Go ahead.
I do remember one thing, but I have to be honest that I was just hoping for UFO disclosure. That wasn't actually a prediction.
Well, we kind of had something like happen, but we don't know if it was for a real disclosure.
We had a lot happen. We had a David Grush and all the, it was kind of the ball was already rolling, but I want to say this is probably the craziest year we've had in that world anyway.
Yeah.
I went through and I watched some of the video. I watched most of the video from last year today. I went through and kind of just pulled out some of the highlights that I got from the predictions last year. And when I was going over yours, Priestess, we were talking about building off of the Capricorn energy from the previous year, a foundation of Earth energy, allowing the winter season to be a winter season and being a bear for the winter.
That.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Let winter be winter.
Let winter be winter.
We did. We took that advice very well.
And I felt that last year. Yeah.
Yeah. It felt like that all the way up until spring, until that first Aries new moon that was like, okay, go.
Yeah. And that's exactly what we had in here. So be the bear for winter. Stop sabotaging yourself for other people and put yourself first. Be happy with prosperity. And if you express gratitude, more things will come your way, but also bring you more understanding. And we were talking about the eclipses and the eclipse season. And you got a lot of the same cards for the overall theme that you had drawn previously. And you're talking about don't beat yourself up, that there could be really high highs. And so don't worry when there's low lows. The tough times would not be over. It'll take time to process and work our way through the issues that have been happening over the last few years, which was, I'll say that was a common theme, that, there was going to be no quick fixes in 2023. In the spring, Aries new moon will be really significant on March 21st. Chariot and Page of Cups. And then in the fall, something is going to come your way that throws you off. Page of Pentacles, still learning and needing to move slow but steady. Everything is a lesson to learn and grow.
Okay, so looking back on it, I do kind of feel like the whole of 2023 was like this figuring out how to stay level when you're getting knocked down. So like you get knocked down, but then you're like kind of like get your balance again, and you're like, okay, let's keep going. And honest, when I was doing my predictions for this year, I was kind of getting that image of Mario Kart where you're like, if you fall off of the road, the little thing like picks you back up and like puts you back. So I kept getting that imagery for 2024, but I can kind of see that looking back at 2023, like don't go backwards, just go right back to where you were.
I like that. Yeah, we're not falling to our doom. We're getting protected by some sort of little angelic thing that pops us right back where we were. Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, and that was a big common theme through a lot of what we have going on, and we have another friend who's going to join us here in a little while. MYKLMantis is coming in.
Here he comes
with the raid. Welcome everyone.
Welcome in MYKLMantis' crew.
Welcome in everyone.
Later on in the stream.
Yeah. Just to give you guys an update of what's going on, I'm sure MYKLMantis was letting y'all know what's up, but we are The Witching Hours. We're a podcast, and we talk about all things paranormal, supernatural, esoteric, and downright weird. And we are we kind of have a team weird. We have the weirdos over here. So welcome in. Tonight is our prediction show. So we have a lot of friends on, and we're going to talk about predictions being made for 2024, and we'll be talking about predictions made from last year for 2023, which is what we're doing right now with Priestess of Wonderland, who is joining us, a wonderful tarot streamer here on Twitch. And so we're going over last year's stuff, and I think a lot of it was hit right on the head. And I tell you, Allison, it really was for me. Like, I didn't get into like feeling like I even wanted to get moving until I guess about April. I mean, we were joking around about it on the stream too. But it really was like, I didn't do. And then of course we had a really busy year once the spring came around, and we can talk more about that later, but a really busy summer. And then, so a lot of things were right on with that.
So, what do you have for us for 2024?
Well, I don't think that we can hibernate for as long as we were able to last year. Which, I mean, I really felt that too. I was just like, I could not get moving until like March or April. But this year we're still starting out with a Mercury retrograde, but Mercury goes direct January 2nd. So even like right now, if you're trying to make intentions for 2024, things feel a little bit like not tangible. Like I can't really grasp, like, what do I want to do? Where am I going? Like, what are my intentions?
I keep putting off making my classes. I'm like, no, I just need to wait. And maybe that's part of it. It's like, I'm waiting for this time to where it feels like I'm supposed to be doing it.
Right. Like I feel like, am I procrastinating, or like, I just don't feel that direction, I guess. I don't know. So hopefully, I'm hoping that by January 2nd, when Mercury goes direct, things are going to be clear. Like, and that makes sense because Mercury is the planet of communication. And so like, if you're trying to receive messages from spirit and like things are really cloudy and foggy, hopefully that'll like clear up on January 2nd. So, for the moon for January, we're in the waning phase right now, which is very like slowing down, which I'm kind of welcoming. Like I always wish that we had like, it'd be nice to have a month, but I'll do 2 weeks of just kind of downtime to just kind of be like, the chaos of the holidays is finally settled. Like, can we just take a break? Can we nap? Can we hibernate? Can we rest? So that's what the waning moon phase is for. It's like to start slowing down, like slowly, like step by step. And then January 11th, we have our new moon in Capricorn. And there are a lot of reasons for this to be feeling like this is the new year. This is the time to set your intentions. This is the time to finally figure out like what you want to do for 2024.
We're only waiting till the 11th instead of April.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So hopefully you get clarity January 2nd. And then January 11th it's a Capricorn new moon. So this is like setting the foundation for the year. Capricorn is, again, the earth energy that I talked about last year. But this is really just like Capricorn is the mountain goat and wants to climb the mountain and reach the goal and reach the top. So that's like those are your intentions, your goals. Like, what do you want to do? The other cool thing about this January 11th new moon is that it's January, the first month, and 11. So it's 111.
Yes.
So this is also new beginnings, fresh starts, and it's a new year. So there's just so many layers to this new moon of, if you're going to set intentions for the year, set them on January 11th. Something will work out.
Yeah, that sounds good. I like that.
And then January 25th is our full moon in Leo. And I think that this is going to be really big to start off the year with, because we're both Leos. Me and Jenny are Leos. But later on in Leo season, I think we're not going to get to have the party that we want in summertime. So the January full moon in Leo, this is the Leo party. And I think I can recommend
to have it early this year. We're just having an early party.
Yeah, an early party. But I want to recommend that to everybody, to celebrate your sun sign's full moon, because I always feel like really great on a Leo full moon. So like, why not have 2 birthdays a year? Like, celebrate both times. But the real reason for celebrating Leo now is because Leo is about confidence and strength. When you think of the Strength Tarot card, it always has a lion on it. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about self-esteem and self-confidence. So this Leo full moon highlights for everybody the confidence that you need to achieve the intentions you set at the beginning of the year.
That's perfect. So it's like we get clarity to figure out what we want our intentions to be, and then we can set our intentions with good grounding because we're moving up, and then we can be like, hell yeah, I'm doing this.
Exactly. It's like reinforcing and remotivating what you've already decided in your head.
That sounds wonderful.
Yes.
But what?
But then.
Yeah, I hear a but.
So you've heard me talk before about retrograde-a-palooza, which usually happens kind of towards the end of the summer, where one by one, nearly all the planets go retrograde. This year it's happening a little bit early, starting in May. So by the time we get to August and Leo season, we're already in it, and we're having a Mercury retrograde smack dab in the middle of Leo season.
Oh, wonderful.
Along with Saturn, Neptune, and Chiron.
Good Lord.
So I'm predicting that that's just going to be like I'm really glad I turned 40 last year, and I'm not planning a big celebration this year, because it's not going to happen. It's going to be canceled plans. Like, nothing's working out. You lose friends. I don't know. I don't like it.
Hot mess season.
But anybody that knows a Leo knows that we celebrate our birthday the whole month.
Yeah.
It's the whole month. It's not just the day.
No, at least a week, if nothing else.
Yeah. Exactly. And this is just going to be like, it's going to be raining on the parade. I'm just sure of it. So that's my like first prediction, is that I'm calling it the end of summer shit show.
I see that as that has to be a stream somewhere in there. That's going to be the stream title. End of summer shit show. Yes.
Yeah. So that's my first prediction. Just end of summer. Like, don't make any plans. Your flight's going to get canceled. Your vacation's going to get canceled. Your birthday party's going to get canceled.
Do it early in the summer.
Do it early.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's January, and that's like what my first prediction for this year. But my main focus is on the year as a whole. 2024 is the 8, which this year was a 7, which feels very like you have 4 and 3, which is not very stable. But when you have 4 and 4, which is 8, it's like you've got your feet planted on the ground. We've got the infinity symbol of the 8 when we turn it sideways. There's just like lots of like expansion, abundance, and like good things happening this year.
That's my word for the year, expansion.
Oh, wow. That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yay.
So number 8 symbolizes making visions reality. So bringing like whatever that vision is, like bringing it into reality. Collectively, I think that this can kind of like manifest in different ways for everybody. And I was told to like look at, and this can be a fun exercise for anybody with a tarot deck to do. Pull out all of your 8s from your tarot deck, including the strength card, which of the major arcana, and just kind of shuffle them face down and see which 8 comes up for you for the year. Because with the 8 of Swords, this is about like stepping out of a cage, stepping out of like a man-made prison, usually a mental prison, of leaving in 2023 all that self-doubt and any of those negative thoughts that are like blocking you and caging you in. When we have the 8 of Cups, this is something that's emotional or spiritual and walking away from something that isn't serving you anymore. And the 8 of Pentacles is working on something hard, trying to manifest something like in the physical and like dedicating yourself to it. When we look at the 8 of Wands, this is like rapid movement, feeling fired up about something, inspired and passionate, and moving forward with it. Like this can be potentially a really big year. And then the strength card, if you add the strength card to any of those, that's like the courage and the confidence that the Leo full moon in January can give you. So I think just focusing on the 8 is something like making a word for the year that's like all encompassing, rather than focusing on like what could go wrong or what could get in your way or what obstacle could come up.
I like that. I wrote it down so I can remember to try the shuffle and all the 8s.
It's really cool. It works out. I love picking cards out of decks and then like, I don't know, having that be it. So those are my big predictions for the year, is that we have the potential to really grow and expand and build this foundation and these infinite possibilities. But remember, if you get knocked off track, that the little thing can come pick you up and drop you back down in place. Like
you right
don't
back
get down on yourself. Don't feel like you're going backwards or not going to get the thing. Like keep going, like keep manifesting, keep being positive. And another big message that I was getting was like to ask for help if you need it, but also to give help when you see that someone else is need, or at least just ask if they need help. Because I think we've all been in those places where we're just like, does nobody see that I'm struggling? And nobody, nobody. And we have such a wonderful community here to like help each other, lift each other up. I don't necessarily feel like it's going to be people within this community that need help. I think it's going to be that like now we're going to have to step up to the plate and be the ones that are helping. I think we've all done the work. I think we have all the coping mechanisms and the tools. And I was even getting the magician, like you have all the tools that you need, like use them. Like we're the ones showing everybody else how to do it. And I think
that's kind of similar to some of the things that I got for mine as well.
Like we can't back down. We can't just like turn our head and look away anymore. We have to be like.
Well, I think that makes a lot of sense. Last year there was a lot of individualism, lots of like you have to figure things out. Just kind of going a summary of a lot of different predictions we had last year was like you have to kind of step up and figure out what works for you, and you like trying to figure out what this new world is and find what your new way is. And
yeah.
And so that makes sense that this year it's a little bit more like, okay, hopefully you're moving towards the direction you want to be, and now you can start helping others that are, when they need it. Yeah. All right.
Well, since we got 5 more minutes with Allison, and that what she just said was something that kind of came up in one of my predictions. So I did like a meditative thing where I just asked whoever, I don't know who was answering me, probably just Louise, but I asked what was in store for the Team Weird and the Witching Hours Collective, which includes, the Wonderland people and all of us, because we're all doing this stuff together. We're all friends with each other. YoErika's crew, MYKLMantis's crew, Terra Mama's crew. We're all mixed in together. So, one of the things that they said was that we would continue to help each other through tears and frustration using laughter, joy, and love, but that we would have an increase of people. So I think that's exactly what you said. Like, there's going to be people that are searching for help, that need assistance. And one of the other things that I got was that it was same as last year, that there's going to be more people that are starting to turn inward, to like get to know their own souls. And they're going to trying to figure out what the hell that even means. And they're going to find us. So they're going to find people like us. And you're exactly right. Like, we do know how to help people do that. So yeah, I think that fit right in there. And Keisha, what are you doing gifting all these subs? Thank you, Keisha.
Making it rain over there in chat. It's Keisha.
Keisha, yeah. First step in helping folks. The subs.
To kind of summarize here, we got not a slow start like last year. I mean, I would say the 11th. I mean, that's really just kind of getting in, starting the new year anyway. Mm-hmm. So finding our way a little bit easier this year than last year.
I like that.
Yeah, which I think is good because we had a pretty big break last year. Slow winter. Fast winter this year. I wonder, was there anything else you wanted to talk about, Priestess? Any other things that came up in your readings? Anything? Oh.
I don't know. Like, I think like just we all have this, but you're still gonna have times where you get knocked off the track, but it's okay. Like, you can always come back on the track. Like, don't beat yourself up. Don't be hard on yourself. Keep going. Reach out for support if you need it. Lend a helping hand if you see that someone else is struggling. Mm-hmm. And there's this unconditional love theme of just like, we can't judge people. Like, we all do stupid things. We all do shadowy things. Like, we can help each other out. Like, we can't beat ourselves up, but we can't beat other people up. Like, I don't know, just
we can be the claw for somebody else.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a good message, though. This is a year of progressing and being able to be a helping hand to other people who need it. So I think that's a pretty good message for 2024.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. And if you want to follow the moon in 2024, I have all of my crazy thoughts and ideas written down into a planner, so you can just go through the entire year. Planner.
I'll go get the link for it and share it right now.
Yeah. The Moon Phase Planner, Priestess of Wonderland, wonderful planner. I know that Jenny went through it all year last year and enjoyed it very much.
Third year. It's my third year.
If you would like to follow along with the moon this year and keep a journal of that, hit the link that's in chat and you can go get your own.
It's right on the front page of her website. You can get it digital or a hard copy.
Which is great because some people really like having that physical copy and some people are.
Well, some people don't like planners either, like, but you can still read the information on the digital one. So,
yeah, you have cool activities in there.
Yeah, I think it's great.
Just saying. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
That was Priestess of Wonderland's predictions for 2024. I think they're pretty good. They were very positive.
Yeah, and off to a little quicker of a start. So I hope that prediction comes true.
I just remembered one extra thing about the moon is that on April 8th, we have a solar eclipse in Aries that we're going to be able to see in the United States.
Oh, really?
It's going from Texas up to Maine, like diagonally across the United States. And so all the people along that line are going to be able to see it, but I was a state away from one before and I was still able to like experience it and see it. And it's really cool to experience because it's like the sun put on some sunglasses and the whole world is like under this filter. So it's really cool. So I think a lot of us will be able to see it. Even if you're not right.
What was the month for that again?
April 8th.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yay. The last one was
a little bit of a spring. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
All right.
Yay.
Well, that sounds wonderful.
Thanks for having me.
We will talk to you again soon, I'm sure, and have you back on in February for the next set of what's going on with the moon and all of that. So thank you again, Allison.
Yay.
All right, cool. Thank you guys. I'll see you all in chat.
Yes. Right. Okay.
All right.
And now it's going to be Tarot Mama.
Yes, we're going to bring Tarot Mama. So she's getting ready.
Better.
Yes.
I hope that she's feeling better. She had the Ronas, and hopefully she's feeling better. I'm excited to see what the next predictions are.
So I think Tarot Mama's still getting ready. We'll check back in a second to get her in here.
Okay.
If we want to go over some of the predictions, well, I'll go over the prediction that I had last year. Last year I did a little bit of divination, and this is what I got. I got the Four of Cups, the Eight of Swords, and the Chariot. And so what I kind of talked about last year was starting off with more of the same that we had been experiencing the last couple of years, coming out of 2020, moving towards a new way. It was all about trying to find a new way in a new world, and feeling trapped, restricted, and facing danger. So to kind of start, the way I explained it was the year was going to start off trying to find what the new thing was. That was going to lead into a lot of sense of feeling trapped, feeling endangered, feeling restricted, like you couldn't move. And then towards the summer and the end of the year, that was going to move into the Chariot. So much more about finally finding some movement heading into the rest of 2023.
To what Priestess of Wonderland had said last year about being stuck in the winter time and having to wait till the spring to like get moving. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of overlap with a lot of people's readings last year.
Yeah, so. That's what was so cool about last year was like everybody kind of had something that was similar, and we had all done it separately. It's not like we had done it together, but everybody kind of had similar things. Yeah. What was another one from last year?
Another one we have Luce, Void Cat Luce, was saying that there was going to be more to do with protests and fighting for equal rights in a multitude of areas, that those things were going to become more vocal, which is something that we'll talk about with YoErika when she comes on later. And just, we haven't really talked about it yet. For everyone who's coming to join, we're going to have a bunch of friends on tonight. We do this every year, our 2020, this year, the 2024 prediction show, where we make predictions for the next year and we go over the predictions from the previous year. And so tonight, our next guest is going to be Tarot Mama. We're going to have MYKLMantis on, And we're going to end the night with YoErika.
YoErika.
So a lot of our favorite people on Twitch are coming on to hang out with us tonight. And so that's what we're going to be doing. If you have predictions that you would like to leave, you can feel free to put them in chat. And if you want to spend a very small amount of channel points, I think I have it for 25 channel points, you can highlight your message and we'll read it in chat. Like if you have a question or if you have a prediction that you want to make, something that you feel like is going to happen during 2024, something that you see happening in 2024, or if you've done some of your own readings and want to share that, you can feel free to do so.
Which we did have a couple in the Discord.
Well, let me finish that. Okay, we'll get to hoaxers. Okay. To finish off looses, that was something that YoErika talked about a little bit last year, and we'll talk about that with her. But there was a lot of what's going on with like human rights and kind of like social issues and stuff like that. And we'll talk more about that with her when she comes on later. But definitely another prediction from the wonderful Luce there. Did you have one you wanted to share from Hoaxers?
Yeah, Hoaxers had put one in the Discord for 2024. Said, I feel there will be a revolution happening mid-2024 about humanity in general, not just work and government. We might discover more planets in outer space. And we might get more contact with aliens or mystery beings. I like those.
Well, that was like
more planets. Yeah, I can definitely see the more planets thing. For sure.
Yeah, that's happening all the time now. It seems like, especially with the James Webb Telescope now, that's coming in a lot of information, lots and lots of information coming in about that. And, you know, Priestess talking about disclosure. I mean, as we talked about with Preston Tennant the other day, you know, he was saying he doesn't think it's anything like disclosure. And we've all kind of felt the same way, even though there's a ton of information coming out. And so I wouldn't call it disclosure, but I would say there has been a lot of discussion and open discussion and public discussion about disclosure and about UFOs and UAPs and stuff this year. So that was definitely right on the mark.
Well, no, that's for next year.
Okay. Well, no, I was saying, I was talking about what Priestess was talking earlier about what she said last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I think there was some connections to that this year for sure. So I fully expect that to be the case in 2024, Hoaxsters. So I think you might be onto something.
Terra Mama's having camera trouble. Can she join with just voice? I believe so, yes.
Please welcome to the show another wonderful streamer here from the Twitch community. And many that I'm sure you guys have, many of you have been on her stream to see her great readings. We're going to bring on Terra Mama. How are you doing, Terra Mama?
Doing great. Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties tonight.
Well, that's what Twitch is. That's what we do. That's what we do best here is technical difficulties.
I was using Microsoft Edge, and then it was like, I went to click it, and he's like, nope. Now you need Chrome. Well, I don't have Chrome. I don't have Firefox. So I'm scrambling to download everything, and it won't let me do my camera. So
that's okay.
But we can hear you, and that's
perfect, right?
I mean, we based all this off doing old radio shows anyway, so it works out fine that way.
There you go. All right. Well,
so I just wanted to bring up, I was going through the episode today because I had made notes from last year, but I wanted to go through and check and kind of go over it and watch some of the episode from last year. And I noticed that during the episode, we got a follow from Terra Mama on last year's 2023 prediction show. So it has been 1 year of you hanging out with us some here over on the Witching Hours.
Yes.
Isn't that weird? That's so
fun.
weird.
That's fun.
And now you're on here hanging out with us. Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, it's cool to listen to Allison's predictions because she was talking about 8 the whole time. And for Tarot, from looking at the year for 2024, we add the numbers up. And so this year is the year of the Strength card. So everything she was talking about made perfect sense. Really digging into that Strength card. So I do my predictions a little differently. I usually pull cards and do a whole big grid. Some of the people watched from the community over on Mindstream with it. So just going through like the overall January, we started off with a whopper being the Tower, but it's okay. Let's just get it out of the way. Like just burn it all down and then we'll just keep moving. Just roll past just January and just go.
But we're trying to set our intentions in January, Terra Mama. How can we set intentions and be in a Tower moment?
That's right. But you know, it means you have you just burn the field and now you just can like envision anything you want, build the biggest castle ever. Who cares, right? Just burn it.
Good.
Burn it and go.
Burn it down.
Burn it down and go. Okay. And just paying attention, like, so with some of the other other categories that tied into that, overall with the Tower and the spirit world was being reversed. Its chapters are closing in health, finances, and working with someone to come up with a new plan or guidance. So it's kind of just, like I said, burn that field. And now you just have a fresh torch ready. I love it. Torch ready. Yes, exactly. Get the torches ready in January. I also recommend really, like I said, those finance chapter closing, get a budget together and try to buff it up. So plan for unexpected things, because this can be a big year with finances and a lot of abundance. So if you're overly prepared in saving and things like that, and have that cushion, you'll be good. Yeah, exactly.
So have the safety net.
Have the safety net. Exactly. Be prepared, but that just means that I think the more you're prepared, the better, the bigger the good things coming in will be. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead.
I was gonna say, if you decide, you know, if you hear a squeak in your car, maybe don't take it to the shop. Sometimes if you just pretend that it doesn't exist, it doesn't. Yes.
Try to avoid. That's a good point.
Definitely. He's making fun of me.
Right. Definitely. I'm in the same boat, but this is a good year for us to not be in denial of things and just face them head on and take care of things early. Being prepared. Preventative maintenance is better. And then February, we had the Queen of Swords. So again, you've burnt the whole field down and now you're rising up, getting clear-headed, possibly cutting out some things in your life that you might not need anymore. Could be people, reassessing what's happened and what you can learn from, how to move forward. But we also have good Ace of Pentacles energy and finances. So many... It's may see changes there, good new changes in February, and then some fed up energy. So I'd expect some big changes in 24 for many, where they see things going like it's a time for change. I loved when Allison said, like, ask and offer help when you can. This is a good point of like making sure you keep your heart open, because Queen of Swords, people, you know, although we burnt the field, not holding grudges, just really clearing the way, and being open to new things coming your way. It's like seeing the flags, but not then going into like a paranoid stage where you just see red flags everywhere. It's just, okay, what did I learn, and let it go.
It's the claw putting you back on the track and right where you fell off. Yeah.
And it's the claw, it feels like the claw comes up many times throughout this year, but for good, like good points, good reasons.
Yeah.
And then March, we have the 5 of Wands. I could see this being a lot of competitive energy. So it could be, there could be a potential to be overwhelmed, but I used the Lightseers deck for the overall. And so this one, I kind of ask people where to kind of look at the card and see which person are you in the card. So are you the one that's like reaching for the flame and almost at the top, or are you kind of lower down and you need to, like, say you want to go for a new job or a promotion? Do you need to like beef up your resume? Where are you at in that stack? It's okay if you're at the top and you're trying to go for the next thing, but it's not really comparing yourself to others, but reassessing where you are and being aware of that so you can climb that ladder. And then also trying something new and seeing what sticks. That seems like a big theme throughout this year, is definitely going to have to keep trying new things and seeing what works out best. And then for April, we had the Two of Swords energy. So overall, kind of feeling stuck about which direction to go in. There's also, I pulled Devil in Spirit and Health. So I can see people needing to give something up to maybe improve life. Like, could be like a diet, could be, I mean, for me, it's probably like giving up soda, which I begrudgingly don't want to do. But it's definitely getting called out that you know that there's something you're needing to give up that you're kind of not doing well with. So yeah. And then there's also a call out particular relationships or family. And another pivot with finances. So finances and career is a big year for that.
Okay.
Which that was a question we had earlier.
Yeah, I know.
What is finances? And I was like, I have a feeling somebody's going to cover that.
Someone's going to get there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big year. So, where were we at? May is like a ton of ace energy. We have Ace of Pentacles as overall, but we had Ace of Pentacles in health and for family, Ace of Cups. So there's a lot of ace new energy overall, like I said. I think Allison mentioned May was like a good month too. And June is huge energy. So she mentioned the Magician. I got the Magician a bunch of times throughout the year in different categories. But it's right now, it looks like the Magician in reverse. So I can definitely see this being people trying those new things, but needing to be courageous in doing it. You have to believe in yourself. So there's letting go of the fear is a big thing for this year. So like I would encourage people with their, if they're doing their full moon manifestations, try to figure out what fears you're holding on to and keep letting those go. Believe in yourself because this is the year of strength, right? Mm-hmm. And that ties in. So that Magician in reverse is then connected to July's family. So it carried over. So it's just something to think about what's going on there for you. Okay.
So we have a pretty good spring and good energy going into June and kind of into the summer.
June is huge. June is good, right? Then Allison.
So that's good. I'm a Gemini, so I'll take the good energy.
And then Allison warned us that it's going to whoop, whoop a little bit. So we got July. We got the 10 of Wands in reverse. So we have doing something to revitalize yourself. I would this would be like a good month, even though she was like, your plane trips might get canceled and all that. It's like being cautious, but you still got to do some revitalizing. So like take a girls trip, or like instead of like, and I mentioned like being cautious of your budget. So like maybe not taking a backpack trip through Europe. It could be more like a road trip to a town nearby. As long as you've done that, taking your car to the shop earlier in the year and fixed it up so you don't have a breakdown. So like, good, you're preventing all the things that could happen along the way. But you really need to, I say July, take that month to reflect back on the first 6 months and treat yourself. Could be like a little family vacation, like I said, or a road trip with your besties. And then August is the Ace of Swords. So we're putting those lessons learned into action and doing it with pride. It's like stepping out and really owning it. Several people in your life that are proud of you and they look up to you. So as long as you believe that there are people that are proud of you and they're looking up to you, I think that is like, keep your head held high. And then September, good old Virgo season, we have the Empress. And it's another huge energy month. Payoffs are coming on the horizon. There are some reversals currently, but I do suspect that the energies are going to change throughout this year as people are learning new things. I think a lot of those energies will flip upright. as long as people do the work throughout the year. And then sometimes your plans have to get adjusted. So being flexible is really important. So letting go of your expectations and being open to possibilities, which is a little tough for us Virgos, but I think if you have some fun with it, be flexible, right? And then October I kind of said was like is kind of a hermit feeling the month, even though technically the hermit card would kind of align with Virgos more. We have the 3 of Pentacles, but it is another like slow down and kind of reflect and get prepared for what you'd like to do for 2025. So reflecting, starting to form goals and adjust those goals, and then make it clear what you want or don't want, and start practicing gratitude, especially with people around you. If you're collaborating with other people, your family, it's all about like weaving it all together. But again, it's a good month to kind of retreat inwards. And then November, we have the Hanged Man. So some of those truths that we were learning about are made more clear. And so if we indulge in the playfulness and being creative outlets of any problems that have come up along the way, it's going to make it so much easier to go into 25. Some plans on the list, we need to think outside the box for some solutions there. And finally, sorry, I got the sniffles here. We have the 4 of Pentacles for December, which is my she's holding that, she's clutching her purse to her heart, and it's like my let it go Elsa, which is good timing here. So it's like let it all go for 2025. December is like the purge month, so you can bring in all good new stuff for the next year. Getting ready for a new adventure. It's like it's a lot of excited energy too. Going into 25. So really focusing on self-love. And again, as much fears as you can let go of this year, it's going to put you in such a great place moving onward and upwards. Yeah.
That was a lot of great information.
Yeah. And it sounds like, and I think that kind of fits in with what Priestess was saying too, but it sounds like a busy year.
It is. It's an intense year. I see a lot of big changes for people. As long as people stay focused on what they're doing.
Yeah. So we had that sleepiness last year for sure. I think we all remarked going into the spring last year about how it was just kind of creeping. And not this year, guys.
No.
All you listening out there. Be ready.
Have fun. Have fun and like try new things and see what works best for you. It's being flexible and enjoying it.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. So if you had to sum it up, if you had to sum all of that up into a couple sentences, which you kind of just did, but
I think it's interesting when I did all the poll. Every month has like court cards or trump cards in it. So there's big energy every single month for this next year. So I think, like I said, if you can avoid pitfalls and just being prepared as much as you possibly can be to give yourself a cushion, it'll make it that much easier to just keep moving forward, keep bouncing ahead. Practice gratitude, let go of fear.
And being open to new possibilities or opportunities.
Yeah, it was overwhelmingly like where people would be least expecting big changes, kind of a thing, which is kind of cool. It's like you think something's going to come, but it's like a new, bigger change, least expected. So be open to new possibilities.
Yeah, I mean,
we need to know, what is the name of the Mario Kart claw thing? Does it have a name?
The Mario Kart claw thing?
The push it back on the track. You know, I mean, this is going to be a busy year. It's going to be a chaotic year, if nothing else, just because we don't really delve into politics and stuff on the show. Right. But it's an election year. there's a lot going on. We already know going into the year, there's a lot of things happening where things, even though like we went through the pandemic and all that stuff, in a lot of ways has slowed a lot of stuff down. And I think we're just going to see that pick up as the year goes along. So yeah, it sounds like we'll check back here next year, but it sounds like you're off to a good start with the predictions this year.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it all, you guys.
So
yes.
What do you have going on over on your channel, Terra Mama?
Well, I stream on Mondays and Fridays doing readings for people. We do affirmations, weekly affirmations on Monday. And we try to line up with full moon and new moon spreads. And whenever it's the start of a new month, we do a communal poll. But yeah, that's a lot of what we do there.
Yep. I've gotten readings, an absolutely wonderful reader. I will be around a little bit because I'm on a break, so I'll be able to pop in. I won't be at work. So you'll see me around hopefully over the next couple of weeks, and then before we get back into the rigmarole again. So
yeah, I will be streaming tomorrow. I'm finally feeling I can be upright. So
yeah,
that's good. I'm glad you're starting to feel better.
Yes, that's been something we know. So many people, like we had COVID a few weeks ago, and then we know so many people who have gotten the flu or COVID or something just over this last month. So it's all going around. So I hope you feel better quickly and as soon as possible.
Appreciate it.
Yay! Yes, go follow Terra Mama if you're not already. She's wonderful. You'll very much enjoy it.
All right, Terra Mama, we will see you around. Thank you so much for coming on. And let's we're talking about that the hard to work collaboration come up. So let's find some ways this year to do some more collaborations.
I would love to. All right. Yeah, this is my year to try to do new things too. So
excellent.
Let's do it.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Take care.
Keep feeling better. Yay.
Okay.
Next, we have MYKLMantis. He's getting ready. He's going to be flying in from across the pond here in a second.
Yeah, off we go. All right. So, yeah, excellent. Real quick, before we get into the next part here, before we bring MYKLMantis on, just to catch you guys up, if you haven't been to the Witching Hours before, if you're not familiar with this, typically we have a guest on and we're used to talking for like 2 hours with one person. So tonight it seems like everything is flying. Like,
I know, 30 minutes. That's not long enough.
I can't talk to somebody for 30 minutes. Cause a lot of times on this show, 2 hours isn't enough, which some of you might be thinking like, how in the hell do you talk to somebody for 2 hours? Normally by the end of the show, it's like, okay, well, we didn't get to what we wanted, all the things we want to talk about. So we'll have to have them back on again. So we usually talk about all kinds of weird things. We talk about the spiritual. We talk about the supernatural. We talk about the paranormal. We talk about anything unexplained and downright weird. We have a YouTube channel. So if you would like to go check out old episodes, you can follow us over on the Witching Hours podcast over on YouTube. You can also find all of our episodes wherever you listen to your podcast. So you can go to Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, all those things, and find us there. It would be great if you give us a follow and leave a review or whatever, if you can over there, to help more people find the show. We have a lot of guests coming up. We got a very busy schedule coming up this year. Next week, we are going to be joined by MYKLMantis, who's getting ready to come on. So we're going to have a short convo with him tonight. And then next week, we'll get to have that deep dive when we have him on next week. And we're going to have Stephen and Leslie Shaw.
We'll have him on until he falls asleep because it's like some ridiculous time in the morning.
Run him into the ground. Yeah. I know it's like late for us and we're over here on the other side. So Stephen and Leslie Shaw will be coming on. They're UFO investigators and have had their own personal experiences. We're going to have Jackson Skelhaus coming on to talk about Lord of the Rings. We're going to talk about the spirituality of Lord of the Rings. And we'll talk about also some experiences he's had paranormal that we got into him with on our Halloween special. We're going to have Gil Jeff come on the 25th of January. We met him at the Lake Shawnee trip that we took. And he's been doing lots of investigations. I mean, that guy...
He's everywhere.
He's absolutely everywhere. Doing tons of investigations.
Scary haunted place. That's where he's at. Yeah.
The Conjuring House, all kinds of things we'll be able to talk to him about. We're going to have another paranormal investigator on February 1st. Austin Wells is going to be joining us. We're going to have a bunch of guests. 22nd of February, we're going to have Ron Moorhead on to talk about Bigfoot and recordings of Bigfoot. And we're going to have Sarah Bressman Cosme coming on the 29th to talk about QHHT. So if you've been interested in the quantum trance stuff that a lot of people have been talking about over on Medium Jenny Lee's Discord, get your questions ready for that one. And you can always submit questions in chat or even have them up beforehand in Discord if you're interested. But let's go ahead as the night keeps storming along. Let's go ahead and bring on MYKLMantis live to the witching hours.
Hello. Hello, hello.
Hi. How are you?
Is the audio working?
I can hear you.
A question I ask myself every time I do something.
It's a good question to ask yourself because sometimes it's not.
We got the audio, but we don't have the video for some reason. But I see your video. Over here.
Look, it's
on
the scuffed
screen.
energy force. It's what we do.
Is that what that is? Are you bringing that over here with you?
It is. Yeah, just at any time something goes wrong, you can't explain why, blame it on the scuffed energy force.
There we go. So I'm not sure what's going on. We have the we hear you fine, and it says you're pushed.
I can see him. He looks beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. Just because the viewers can't see that. So.
Yeah, he can't see. You can't see how lovely he is. He's doing like the little girl pose.
What do you have for us for 2024?
Well, first off, I was going to say Priestess of Wonderland, my homeboy out there in chat. Priestess of Wonderland mentioned that she only got through half of her predictions. So, Priestess of Wonderland, if you could DM me the other half, and I'll just use them as my own. Is that something we can do?
It probably wouldn't
because
be the
I
first
came
time.
into this. Like, I'm not one to steal anyone else's work, but I came onto this completely unprepared. Watching Priestess of Wonderland and then Tarot Mama with full predictions and tarot card spreads and divination and all of that jazz. And I was going to come on and say, aliens. Aliens will make contact in 2024. That's my prediction.
Okay.
Well, that's
we
fine.
like that prediction.
That's fine. Because that's what this is based off of. It when I look, the idea for the show was just when I originally had it. To be honest with you, MYKLMantis, the idea that I had was to come on and be like, this is a an event that could happen this year, but we have so many awesome and very well prepared people that we hang out with in this community that they come in locked and loaded. Like, I mean, and I was going over some of our community, like we'll get into some that linguists and stuff like that had from last year. And that was the same way. They're like, they have it down. Like some of them are like getting it down like the first half of January is this and the second half. And so, which, you can't complain about because the predictions are absolutely wonderful. But yeah, aliens for 2024. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
That's what we do here on the Witching Hours anyway.
I feel like it's long overdue.
Hell yeah, it is. So
let me try something real quick. I'm going to see if I can kick you out real quick, MYKLMantis. As you shouldn't have to do anything. I'm just going to try to put you back in. Aliens. All right. Now next. Oh no. I'm gonna push you off and see if I can't get your video on here. So let's see what I can do here.
Okay.
I don't understand because it looks absolutely great. Over in...
He's muted now. You're muted now. Now we can't hear you.
All right, I'm going to move him out, and we're going to move him back in.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go. Now?
Look at that.
Okay, we have audio back.
We're there great. And your picture is up.
Yeah, video.
And we are rocking
screen. Hello.
Look at that. Look at that. I mean, you know, not only am I the co-host and all that stuff, but, you know, I'm the tech guy around here too.
Tech guy, yeah.
You know, I'm trying to have, you know, I need somebody to call when my stuff breaks, you know? I guess especially if we have the scuffed energy stuff going on. I really...
I like it. I'm the living embodiment of scuffed energy, but I don't know how it works. I've got no answers for fixing things.
So, MYKLMantis, if the aliens contact us this year, what would you like? What would be the ultimate way that would happen? Like, how would you like it to occur?
Well, it's not so much how I would like it to occur. This is another bit of a bold prediction.
Hot take.
But I believe there's going to be a war, and I'm not talking about the current wars that we've got with humanity. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about a war between light and dark. Mm-hmm. And I believe in 2024 there's going to be a lot more people waking up over the course of the year, like more than usual. And I believe it's the aliens that are going to be preparing us for this battle of light versus dark, because ultimately the dark can't win.
No.
And I believe it could all be linked together, and maybe it's the aliens that are kind of preparing us for this.
I think you're really onto something there, man. Yeah. It's time for the negative to get the hell out of here. They've had their claws in us too long. And not the good kind of claws either, Priestess of Wonderland, the bad ones.
Not the Mario claws.
Not the Mario claw. Terra Mama wanted to know what you would ask the aliens.
I guess the first thing that comes to mind is pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
Wait, everybody needs to know that answer.
That's definitely
everybody in chat. Yay or nay?
Yay or nay. There we go. Yeah.
I totally think that you're onto something there. There's definitely a war going on between good and bad over Earth. And from what we've seen, I think the aliens are definitely got in on it, trying to help us get through it and get out of it, it seems like to me. So no, I don't think that was, nothing's weird around here.
All right, the poll's up, by the way. Pineapple on pizza.
Pineapple on pizza.
Yay or nay?
Awesome. Let me vote. Can I use channel points to vote more?
We have a pretty scientific method around here, so
that we're already in the war. I think so too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look, there's 6 people voted yay, and they're obviously the people who are on the light side of this. I lived somewhere. I lived in Rhode Island for a few years, and pineapple and pizza was really popular up there. They would have pineapple and ham. That was a pretty big, popular pizza that people would get. Where I live now, it's definitely a nay. People might draw and quarter you now if you order pineapple and pizza down here. But it's not my favorite. I'm not like completely against it. Yeah. They're not so much. Not so much where I live now. Well, I have a question for you. Since we're going with the whole alien thing, what did you think about, and have you kept up with what's going on with Grush and kind of what's been happening with kind of this quasi, or what I at least consider quasi information and
disclosure that's been coming out over this last year?
So I don't know when it was, but the Tic Tac, the flying Tic Tac,
yeah,
is that part of that?
Yeah, yeah.
I think it's remarkable. They've essentially got a craft that will fly through air at rapid speed, swap directions, and it's also submersible as well.
Yeah.
If I'm thinking of the right one, where
Yeah.
it can go underwater and travel the same speeds underwater. And the only thing I can think of that would allow it to do it is the gravitational poles, like the North and South Pole, and using magnets and opposites and things like that. But extremely powerful versions of them. And I don't think it's too far-fetched. I think we're, as a humanity, as a civilization, we're certainly on the right lines to producing that technology. But it's on a much larger and much more advanced scale than what we've currently got.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I think it's going to come.
I think some of it's going to happen. We had a guest on a couple weeks ago. We had Preston Dennett on, who is he's a researcher, a ground investigator for MUFON, and he kind of feels the same way, that there's definitely stuff going on, but he thinks that a lot of what's been coming out information-wise over the last year, and me and some that were chatting in the community here kind of all agree that there seems something kind of weird about the information that's coming out. Like it could be like it's covering up for something else, like that's disinformation more than information.
I would have to agree with that. I don't want to get all political and stuff on streams. We want to keep things lighthearted and that type of thing. But when the government wants us to know something, when they're actively pushing that information out, then it's fair to say that they're hiding something even bigger.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like the look over here, but really there's something going on over there. Yeah.
A huge distraction side of it.
Yeah. Well, the poll
we've
came
discovered
back
aliens. Ooh, most people said
pineapple.
Toys, you know?
Oh, pineapple won the poll.
Yes.
How close was it?
Said yes to pineapple. It was, I think, 7 votes to 3 votes.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay, so we got three Dark Warriors we need to take care of. Next question. Pineapple on garlic bread.
Pineapple on garlic bread. Now you're going too far, MYKLMantis.
Even with a pepperoni stuffed crust.
I agreed with Journey of Self-Discovery. I'm not going to order it, but if somebody else orders it, I'll eat it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of where I'm at. I would agree with that. If I'm hanging out with someone and they ordered pineapple pizza, I'll eat the pineapple pizza. But if I'm ordering pizza, I'm not going to order pineapple pizza. That sounds like a good thing. That sounds like about the right way to go for me. Now
it's a happy medium. You sound like one of the Dark Warriors.
Yeah.
You're trying to pass off as a light worker, I think.
You're probably not completely wrong there, but oh man. So yeah,
other than aliens,
I've completely derailed the show. Sorry.
Look, the whole purpose of this show is to be weird. So there's no derailing it. There's no derailing it.
It's just weird.
Yeah, if the conversation gets weird, then we just got a good show. That's all. That's just all.
Doing our job then.
Yeah, that's how it goes. I don't know. There's been a lot of weird stuff. I don't know what. I think the thing that confused me about this year is you've been waiting for that information to come out, and then when the information finally did come out, it didn't feel satisfying.
Yeah.
And so that's what got me to start thinking that, like, okay, what else is going on? Because they've released a lot of information, but they've never given you the gratification of it. Like, there's never been like, okay, like, here we go. They've just found another level of questions to hide stuff in. So we'll see what happens with that. 2024. Do we find out about the aliens? Do we find out about the aliens?
In a good way, though.
Yeah. Well, So do they have to be good though?
Yes, because we got enough bad shit and humans. So.
See, MYKLMantis, that's one place that me and Medium Jenny Lee kind of disagree. I don't think that there really are bad. I'll put it this way, like I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that we would have extraterrestrials that could come to Earth that would have necessarily a bad intent. Maybe I'm being very optimistic with that assessment. Well, how do you feel about that?
No, sorry, let me clear my throat. I look at it this way, and if we were, as humans on this planet, to go to Mars, for example, we find life on Mars, just hypothetically, to the Martians, we are the aliens. We're the ones that have traveled to their home planet. So, and we are getting close to that sort of stage now, aren't we? Where we can travel to different planets. I know we got Mr. Musk out there with these self-landing space rockets and all of that jazz. Yeah,
we're going to the moon again at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, it's, for me, Alien is all about perspective. Is that the right word? That might not be the right word, but if we go to a planet and there's life on that planet, then we are the aliens to them. So it's not too far-fetched that somewhere out there in the galaxy, there is a race that are colonizing planets and going out to different planets, and like they would be considered aliens to us when they get here. But they could have knowledge that would help us advance civilization.
But what I'm curious about is, do you think they could have bad intentions? Could an alien race come here? Okay, so you think that is a possibility. Because Medium Jenny Lee does too. I tend to think this, MYKLMantis. I tend to think that, so we're on the verge of possibly, I think within the next few years, we want to have a plan to send humans to Mars. At least that was the last thing I heard from Elon. And that's one of the reasons we're going back to the moon. And that'll be quite the news cycle for us, for sure. I mean, can you imagine being able to see the live video feed of someone walking on Mars? That'd be huge. But we are still probably, I would imagine, lifetimes away from us traveling to another star. So my theory is that for an alien race to come from another star, to be able to either travel faster than the speed of light or be able to bend space and time to be able to travel, to have that technology, they would have had to overcome any of their violent culture in order to be able to achieve the technology to travel that far in space, so that any extraterrestrials we had coming to Earth would more than likely have some kind of peaceful intention. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, we're kind of getting to the technology of just sorting to go to planets and where the world's a mess, for lack of a better phrase. I often wonder if on this planet we didn't care about, what's the word? Competition as much as we cared about helping other people, we would already be light years ahead of where we were or where we are right now. Maybe not light years, exaggeration, but we'd certainly be hundreds of years more advanced than what we were. At the end of the day, with everything going on in the world, these borders are all fictional. We're all living on the same rock. We're all human. And we're all flying through space at 1,000,000 miles an hour towards a giant ball of fire in the sky. Or in space.
We need to start singing the Monty Python song now.
Yeah.
What is the Monty Python song?
You don't know it?
I don't know it. I'm
There's
British and I don't know
about that. There's a whole song about, we're flying through the universe. And
it's going so many miles an hour.
Yeah, miles
Stephen
an hour.
Hawking did it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. You're going to have to look it up after this. You're going to love it.
I think I did see a YouTube video of it. Did Brian Cox replicate it?
Possibly. I know Stephen Hawking did a version of it before he passed. But yeah, it's an old Monty Python bit. But
yeah.
I don't know.
You were it sounded like you were almost quoting it, so I was like, that's funny.
It's just thoughts that I've had for a long time. Like if competition didn't exist, then where would we be? Competition's all ego driven.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we were helping each other trying to figure this stuff out instead of trying to one up each other about stuff and then hiding it from each other. Where could we be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were just having this conversation. See, this is what we talk about, MYKLMantis. I think we were just eating dinner and we were having this conversation. You made one good point there, I think, me and Julie, because you were talking about what if they were able to basically advance their technology a lot faster than us? Like what if they were like way smarter, and so they were able to create that technology without evolving spiritually or evolving, however, treating each other with. Whereas we for us, I think if we had the ability, if we had the technology to be able to travel to many other stars, we would probably blow ourselves up before we ever, you know what I mean?
I hate to laugh about that.
Because it
would take a few attempts.
Well, the energy that would be needed. Right. Well, see, and that's the problem, because that's one of the things that came out about all this this stuff this year with the aliens anyway, was that any information, pretty much anything that we get from this is going to be, any of the information that would have came from disclosure is going to be militarized first. They were talking about that when we were talking about the room temperature superconductor over the summer. And the first person, one of the first people after that came out to start doing research on that was I think it was the Naval Labs. Because if there's a room temperature superconductor, before we use it to benefit humanity, it was going to be used to create some kind of weapon first. And so the engine that would give us the ability, or whatever it is, maybe even not a propulsion engine, but something to get us to other stars, could also be used and would probably be used first as a weapon.
Yeah, we're not going to use it to do something cool. We're going to use it to threaten other people or blow them up. Yeah.
Well, let's see what
that's the sad reality we live in.
Let's see what Chad has to say about this, because we've been talking about it a lot. So Dragon Jewel said, have you seen The War of the Worlds?
Yeah.
And that's true.
Yeah.
I don't think I have.
It's aliens coming to rip us a new butthole.
If you ever want to hear something cool, you can actually go on YouTube and you can find the old original radio broadcast from the 1930s that freaked everybody out because they thought the aliens were invading.
They were reading War of the Worlds on the radio, and people thought it was a real.
Well, they did it like a radio broadcast, like it was a it was like a radio play. Yeah.
Flipping out.
Did they not think before they did that? How are people going to react to this? We're a radio station dedicated to broadcasting updates and news and real life events, and then just one day we'll just not tell anybody. But then,
well, here's the interesting thing: to show you how to show you how humans would react. And this is one of the things I've talked about too. Is not to give people an excuse, but how would humans react to disclosure and actual extraterrestrials coming to our planet? When the War of the Worlds was done on TV and people are on the radio and people thought it was real, there were people going outside and they saw water towers and they thought they were the Martians and they started shooting them. So, I mean, that was the first reaction was there's extraterrestrials. Let me go get my gun. Exactly. Maybe that was just the American reaction, but.
Well, yeah.
Oh, man.
The British people went outside and just had a cup of tea and threw biscuits at it.
Like, I gotta get my shotgun. Ah, yeah.
Let's see. What else we have here?
Reaction.
It does make you think, though, doesn't it? Like, maybe the government have got a reason to keep things quiet from us.
Yeah.
If that's how people are going to react.
There's that, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Mass hysteria. Dogs and cats living together. Yeah.
So I just caught Hoster's highlighted message there.
Yeah.
What if planets were home of those aliens and they needed to travel outward because harsh planet storm or whatever it causes? Something just popped in my brain. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go one step further. What if we are on this planet because we used to be on Mars and we've been migrating from planet to planet once we've ruined the planet? We've kind of like, you know, history repeating itself. We kind of ruined Mars, global warming, whatever.
Well, this was shit, so let's go somewhere else.
We blew it up. We just pumped all of our money into getting people off there. We landed on Earth. Let's say the two people were Adam and Eve. And they kind of populated Earth. They started to populate Earth.
Yeah.
And now we're in the civilization that we're in. And history's repeating itself. We're kind of heating the planet up way too much and causing a lot of issues. And maybe it's time to look for a different planet to move to.
Yeah.
Which is kind of where we are, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. We could very much turn this one into Mars too, if we're not careful.
I saw a little bit of a lecture today that was recorded like back in like 1996 or something of a guy who was going around on lecture circuits and stuff talking about how there was evidence that the human race had blown themselves up like 2 different times with nuclear weapons. So, I mean, that would very much, you know, you go into that whole idea of like the hidden history of humanity, which we had a guest on to talk about that and all this stuff with Graham Hancock. I mean, who knows? I mean, we very well, I mean, there's a lot of, what's it called?
Did
Transpermia?
we do it here already?
Yeah. The idea that we were seeded from another essentially alien race, Martians, possibly. Yeah. A lot of information out there.
It absolutely happened.
Well, MYKLMantis, you gave us a whole lot of things to talk about. Aliens and pineapple on pizza. I hope that your prediction is correct and that we have way more alien stuff happening this coming year.
I hope so too.
And it'll be lots of news
thank
for
you
the
for
show.
having me on.
Yeah, my news articles. The weird news will be popping this year. So off we go.
I'll be happy to come back on at any point and say, I told you so.
Yes.
Aliens love pineapple on pizza.
And we're going to have you on next week. So you'll come back and we'll have lots more conversations.
We're going to have 2 hours. We can do 2 hours of this next week, MYKLMantis.
Yes.
Yeah, like me just ruining the show, completely derailing everything. No, tomorrow, next week will be more serious.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get into a lot of stuff, and we're going to talk about some paranormal and spirituality, and maybe we'll talk about more of this stuff too, but that'll be great. I'm looking forward to it. Okay,
I see YoErika backstage as well. Hi, Erica.
Yeah.
She's waving. None of you guys can see, but we can see Erica in the back room there.
The VIP treatment. You're going to meet all the other guests.
Yeah.
Backstage passes. Yeah. Look at that. Hooking everybody up. All right. All right, MYKLMantis.
I'll see you next Erica's time. Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye.
All right. See, he thought we were getting weird. This is what we talk about every week.
I know. This is just normal stuff for us. Yeah.
We're fine.
I don't know how many times we've had the pineapple on pizza conversation over on my channel.
Yeah, I don't take a hard stance, but you know, off we go with that.
So we have our last and final guest of this evening.
Talking about predictions for 2024. Welcome to the show.
I think
go ahead.
I think we're going to go over her predictions from last year too, or are we not?
Yeah, we have predictions from last year. Let's go ahead and bring on the show for the second year in a row. YoErika. There we go. Off we are, and we are live. There. For some reason, it didn't want to take the first time.
But she's muted. Oh, there we go.
Now
we got
I'm
it.
here. Now
We're
I'm
good.
here.
Yay!
Can you hear me? I just want to make sure my mic's not doubling.
You are sounding
working
good.
perfectly.
Sweet. It said in the directions to mute your mic in your OBS so that it doesn't double.
Okay.
Did you? Okay, you guys didn't have to do that. I also use a voice meter, so my audio's got a lot of lines it's following. It's a lot. And my picture's backwards on your screen. Let me flip it on mine. Un momento, por favor. Transform. Do. Oh, is it not letting me flip this? Oh, you gotta unlock it. Is it flip horizontal? Is that accurate? Yes. Yay. Okay, perfect.
Excellent.
Yay. I got to remember to switch that back, though. What's up, everybody? What's up, Chicago? Thanks for coming over.
Yeah, we got a bunch of your people coming and hanging out tonight, YoErika.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So I went over today and I kind of went through a little bit and was looking at the predictions from last year to go over. Do you remember your predictions from last year, or do you want me to go over them some?
You can go over some. I didn't really look hard at them. I was kind of sitting with the new ones. Yeah, I'm curious. Here, let me pull it up too, because I have it pulled up from the Discord conversation with you. Okay.
Yeah, so we had so the theme of 2023 was a tug of war with information and communication continues. A struggle between what is real and unreal, and what can we really believe, like when it comes to communication and information.
That was so perfect.
Yeah.
Yay, because my first row up here is this is what's kind of leaving. And then, let me move I'll just move me on the all the old OBS. Hold on, let me just.
Magically transforms.
Oh yeah, you can see man. So this was like kind of what's releasing this year, and then what's continuing. I did a release continue what's coming in for this, and then how to best support. So the information. So I saw what's kind of releasing this year is overall, like on a global. To go with what you were saying, it was like kind of is releasing the illusion, both like on more of a global. Within our leaders, our corporations, the organizations, but also releasing illusion for ourselves on an individual level, and really being kind of around that the inequity that just seems to like plague all of cultures. Like, interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, because it was really kind of releasing that illusion and with that information. Yes. Okay. Yeah, I like that. Connected.
Yeah. Yep. So we had that as the main theme. And then we had a couple other sections that you broke down last year. So talking about adapting, you were talking about how last year was going to be a year where you had to rely on yourself and having to become independent, but then learn to surround yourself with people who you identified with on a soul level. And interjected and said soul family, and we decided we liked that word. So kind of finding the people to surround yourself with, and like a focus on independence, but also finding like your small groups of people to rely on.
That feels like when I see the Six of Pentacles reversed for kind of what we're releasing this last year, not that these themes aren't going to continue, but like bigger things, that finding your people that you can really work with and collaborate with and lean on, your soul family. I just see like Six of Pentacles reverse reminding me of like all these different groups of people going on strike from like so many different countries, so many different industries. And it was like people being like kind of enough, like we got to do this together. And that really now kind of getting to like enjoy the fruits of the labor for a moment with that until we need to go on strike in probably another 3 years. Because how long is that going to last? Not that I'm pessimistic, just feel like realistic. But Ooh, okay, cool. I like that. Because, yeah, when I saw that Six of Pentacles, I'm like, ooh, there's all those strikes fighting for that even energy exchange of money and resources. And we can't just leave it up to these people over here, the Magician reversed, who are just telling us like, no, this is all good. We're giving you everything you need. Like, no, we don't have any more money for you on an individual paycheck level. No, we don't have more resources for you, but somehow the government's still like sending everybody checks. Like, I don't get it. So not to get political, but it's just like, really letting go of that illusion and doing it for ourselves with the Six of Pentacles reversed and finding our soul family from last year. Yay. So that connects.
That's so interesting because Terra Mama also had the Magician in reverse.
And come on, validate me more, please.
And Priestess of Wonderland also had the Magician come out quite a few times in her stuff too.
Oh, yes. Cool. Oh, cool.
I love it.
Okay, Frosty. Trying to the frost.
We and you also talked about finances last year. We were just kind of talking about that with the corporations, and kind of that was one of the big takeaways from last year's for 2023 was that we were going to start trying to break away from the stranglehold of corporations and the control that they had, and people would begin to break away and realize they had to take control over the economy, and we will learn what we need to let go of.
Ooh, because it's our Six of Pentacles and the strikes. Oh, I love this. MYKLMantis, it says it's almost like you've done this before, Erica. Thanks, Michael. I know, but I feel like such a phony. I feel like such a, I don't know. The validation, I know I'm not supposed to need it, but it's so nice. Well, especially with tarot, it's like you want to see something maybe happen with it. It's like,
I agree.
Sticking to the wall.
Well, that was a conversation we've had with a lot of guests this year on the show, and I guess just talking about it with friends. And there really is some kind of sticking point right now with the economy and what's going on with how money is flowing. We were just talking about that the other day about housing for people and stuff like that. Like, there's going to almost have to be some kind of change.
Yeah. Oh, Los Angeles. Yes. I mean, I can't imagine how it is everywhere else. I just know my own little city, and it's pretty bad. Something needs to change. Jeez Louise.
So, YoErika, did you know that next year is the year of the dragon? Is that why you use the dragon cards?
No, and I meant to look that up. Shut the front door. Oh, yay.
And
I meant
you
to
probably,
look that up.
You don't know this at all, I'm sure, but dragons have been coming up like over the past couple weeks in our streams over and over and over and over. Yes.
I should have pulled a spirit animal. It's not too late, because in the spirit animal deck, there is one dragon. Now the pressure's on. It's Erica, the real deal.
So you intuitively picked up on it, even though you didn't know. Look at that.
And I at first was like, okay, let me do Tarot of the Divine. And then I was like, and I'm like, maybe the Pride Tarot deck. And then I saw dragons sitting there. I'm like, dragons. And I didn't second guess it. Thank you, Medium Jenny.
So the top one was what we're releasing. That second row, what are we looking at now?
Oh, this was what is kind of continuing. I mean, Queen of Cups reverse. My first thought, just like on a global, just the sadness and the isolation. It just reminds me of kind of recovering from the pandemic. Just Queen of Cups in this card, she just looks so forlorn. Like, even in the upright, she's just a little just like, oh gosh, I'm worn out. But what's continuing, sadly, is, but okay. So a lot of the BS is continuing. A lot of the injustice around the world, a lot of it feels like this martyrdom of different kind of leaders, or different kind of, it's not the individuals. It's the kind of the group think of certain things where this is so hard for us and this is our thing. And it kind of, where people kind of put themselves in the other and not realizing, like, there's martyrdom and codependency and just, this is our strife, but not looking at other people's strife too. And seeing that there's strife on both ends of things sometimes. And a lot of that is out of our control. This coming in with the Queen of Cups reverse, with the Justice card reverse, for me, that felt more like big more of the people that are bigger in control than us kind of like everyday people. And I feel like that's continuing it to really put it on the little guy, the 10 of Wands here, this dragon carrying all the wands. It just felt like, yes, we're under their control and power of this and these injustices and this just like, woe is me, we're the victims, to where the little guy has to really shoulder all the burden. And it's us having to things that aren't even ours to shoulder, like shouldering things that we don't need to be shouldering. We need to be getting our lives together so we can be good for ourselves and that's good for the collective. But what I do like, even though this is kind of continuing, is that at least it's the 10 of Wands. At least it's like this cycle's, it's coming to an end of this. Like, yes, there's always going to be bad leaders and bad organizations and humans making terrible decisions. But it feels like the cycle of that kind of closing out more. Like we're so close to being done with that. This kind of cycle of, I don't know, it just feels like sometimes like leaders not taking responsibility, and it's more about blaming and victim and being the victim with that, especially with that Queen of Cups reversed, the codependency and the martyrdom of it all. But I do like that 10 of Wands is sitting next to us. Like we've worked really hard, all of us, on an individual level, and then thus together as a collective to take it on. And we're so close to that finish line of the cycle ending that reminding ourselves how strong we are. And then whatever is coming this next year, you know, we got a lot of big political stuff coming this year. Yeah. We're going to ultimately be okay. Like we're going to be okay because look what we've just gone through. Who knows what we're going through in the future, but we're going to be okay because we've done it and we're going to do it again in some way. And it's not going to be exactly the same. Of course not. And thank goodness, because we've learned and we know things. But okay.
I like that.
Was there more from the last reading, Frosty, or should I go to the next row?
There were two more sections you had from, there were three more sections we had from last year. You did one on humanity and rights.
Oh yeah.
And that one was talking about, you had the Hanged Person in reverse, the Page of Wands, the Six of Cups in reverse, and you were talking about hanging out kind of in a paralyzed state. Like there have been all this, you were talking about how there had been all this kind of stuff coming from 2020, but that in 2023 that it was going to be kind of paralyzed and that people were going to be aware of the issues, but there wasn't going to be a lot of progress necessarily made. It was just going to be like, hey, we know this is happening. And that you were going to have to make your own, people were going to have to make their own change. And that people were going to have to make sure they didn't get stuck in old injustices and like go down a spiral. And they were just going to have to move forward the best they could. So it was like very much of like there was a lot of momentum that had kind of been taking place with those things, but 2023 there wasn't going to be a lot of progress. People were going to have to find a way to kind of deal with it in their own on their own. Yeah.
It seems like a lot for me. It's just the biggest representation is all these different industries striking and people getting better wages. Still probably not what they deserve, but you know, people taking it into their own hands and not waiting for people for the bosses to make the change, the people in power to make change. What new energy's coming in, or what's coming in that we need to know about? Here, I'll zoom in on these ones. I got 9 of Cups reverse, which, listen, I love me 9 of Cups. Upside, reverse, upright, I don't care. Give me 9 of Cups any day of the week. It just, it means something's coming, and I'll take it. Like, might not be exactly what you wanted when it's 9 of Cups reverse, but still, it's 9 of Cups. It's still yummy. But what's sitting next to it, like 9 of Swords reverse, like extra harshness, great. You know, feeling that anxiety and despair and just stressed out and just really, it's not stressed out. It's feeling the anxiety. It's feeling like fearing the nightmare. Just a lot of a lot of worry about the future. It might not be, you know, there's probably things that are going wrong, but sometimes I feel like Nine of Swords, a lot of that power is in your mind. A lot of the fear is in your mind. And it's, yes, there's probably terrible things going on, but sometimes it's like worrying about how that terrible thing's going to end or how's it going to conclude. Because it's also sitting next to that Six of Swords reverse. For me, Six of Swords reverse is, we're in the boat, we're making that transition, but for some reason, someone forgot to bring the paddles and someone just wants to anchor right in the middle of those damn rough waters. Even though we see those clear waters, we're feeling stuck. So we're moving forward, but it might be this Nine of Swords where someone's just too afraid to keep going because their thoughts, the fear, the media pumping that fear out into us. It's making us feel stuck because we are transitioning and there are clear waters ahead. We just got to keep that boat rowing like freaking Willy Wonka style. You know, you're going to get through it. But that's what I feel like. I love when I see Nine of Cups because what's coming in this year, there's things are potentially, and I mean, this is so obvious how life is in general. There's some things that are not going to happen and pull off and feel fair. And we're going to probably be really freaked out by it with that Nine of Swords in reverse. Like, oh my gosh, I already did the pandemic. I can't do this crap again. What the F? I already did this political thing. I can't do it again. Holy crap. This is extra scary because I've already done it. No, no, no. But so when that happens, that Nine of Swords is going to come in and really freak us out. It's going to put us on a freaking paralyzed state. But surprise, maybe a month down the road, a week down the road, 3 months, 9 months down the road, that better solution is coming. So while we're waiting for that good news or that good solution and it doesn't turn out, the person we want to get elected doesn't make it, or the different thing with the health, whatever big thing is really in your life that affects you, you know, may not arrive to you in the way and then timing that you're expecting. And it might put you in a state, but something else is coming. And I think it's just a good reminder when you get that Nine of Cups that, listen, there are going to be some weird things, but something else might be coming in its place. And just to remember, try to focus on that is so we can keep the boat moving, because we are in a transition. It's a transition. We are moving forward. It's not forever.
I think there was some other mentions of something similar in the other predictions tonight too, about some things might come in a way that you didn't expect them to.
Oh, that's Nine of Cups to me, how you said it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's going to happen, but it's not going to happen how you think it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it might not be how you think or the timing. Yes. So even if something really disappointing happens, try to remember Nine of Cups reverse. Okay, nope. I'm gonna believe something else is coming eventually that's gonna really help shift this back to where it needs to be, or shift it to a place you didn't even know it could go.
Exactly.
Trying to remain optimistic in the Nine of Swords reverse, because I feel like sometimes when you get that Nine of Swords reverse, you've already lived through some sort of trauma, and now some sort of trauma is coming back, and you're like, how, and it feels even harder than the first time because you're remembering. I wanted to ask on my stream, it's classic. I always try to do how to best support ourselves, because it does feel like so much is out of our control, and there is so much out of our control. But there's a lot that is in our personal control just around us. And I got Queen of Pentacles. I mean, how to best support yourself, Queen of Pentacles. I mean, come on. That's so nice. With the World and the Page of Swords. I love seeing that World, especially it being the end of that cycle with that Ten of Wands that came before it.
These cards do look much nicer.
Right?
Yeah.
And they look, and because that Six of Swords, we are transitioning. So it's nice that, like, yes. So how to best support ourselves so we can thus support ourselves and thus support the collective. Queen of Pentacles, this is really being your own leader and using the earth to fuel you up and really taking a break from the technology and from anything that is literally not just the earth for a moment. That, yes, all of our technology was mined from the earth, I know, but using the earth and connecting back to the earth to find your inspiration, to keep yourself grounded, but also being your own leader. This is the queen. This is nurturing yourself so that you are able to also nurture others. Being very Queen of Pentacles, being really mindful of your money and your health, and not go be a big spender. I mean, even if you win the lottery, get all Queen of Pentacles about it, get organized, and be really practical, but also like make sure you're doing things where you're creating and you're fulfilling that inspiration in your life. So I just think it's getting your Queen of Pentacles on, how to best support yourself. The world has made me feel like it's like you in your own backyard, really being in your own backyard, focusing on your closure, your cycle shifting. And I love that the dragon is looking at like kind of like the collective with the globe here. I really think how to best support yourself is really leaning into your backyard and what's your cycle, what do you need to integrate this year, and recognizing that you're closing out a big cycle for yourself too. All of us are, you know. And then the Page of Swords, when we get all like with that Nine of Cups, when some things don't work out the way we would really like them to work out, I feel like that Page of Swords is just remembering not to be a little brat about it, and to try to use your words. It just reminds me of like when people with kids have little kids that are like, use your words. And they're just like, I want to have a tantrum. I just want to throw myself on the floor. So if you can, try to really connect in with your inner child and use your words to express yourself, to yourself, to others, and obviously how you're speaking to yourself. But it just reminds me of use your words, you know, that just make it just feel like a lot of what could be coming in this year is going to make you want to feel like, I just kept thinking, being a little brat. I also pulled one card I wanted a card to manifest with, and I was like, oh my gosh, cards, please give me a freaking good card. I'm pulling only one for this a card to manifest with this year. Please give me a freaking major arcana at least, and don't make it the Tower. Or the Devil. Just make it clean and simple for me. Can you just make it clean and simple? And I freaking got Judgment. I'm so stoked. And I love how they do this Judgment, like just really rising up, rebirth, like Phoenix in the ashes. Is that what it is? And I liked it because we just had the World. It's like, it's just like, boom. The Judgment card. I mean, this is a second chance for all of us. You know, there could be some stuff. There's a lot that we've been processing since 2020 on a global level. And I just feel like, yes, there's still some old things from that era and cycle that are probably going to come back around this year. Maybe not. I don't know. But we're rising up and really moving out of that phase. And this is really us finally, all the work that we've all been doing since that era of, you know, that reflective year or 2 years that a lot of people had. It's working. It's the seeds are starting to really grow, and we're rising up, and we really are getting a new lease on life, a new cycle's coming in. So a nice card to manifest with.
I love that.
Well, there were two things there that also kind of paralleled some of the other predictions we had earlier. One was from talking about making sure you took care of your finances and that you didn't overspend. That was from Terra Mama earlier, had said, especially like in the spring, that there was going to be a focus on like making sure you had a little nest egg set aside. There could be like some unexpected financial stuff coming up. And another one that you crossed over with tonight was Priestess of Wonderland. She was talking about the need. Like coming into this year, we had some people had kind of gotten themselves back on track after all this mess. And so this was going to be a year to lend out a helping hand to people who needed it.
Oh,
which
that's
you were just
so
talking
Queen
about.
of Pentacles energy.
But she was also talking about not throwing a temper tantrum when you have a setback, and like, it's going to be okay because you're going to be put back on the track where you need to be. So once again, this year, we've had so many things come out in everybody's predictions that just kind of solidifies, yes, we're all on the right track thinking about what's ahead for the next year.
Yeah.
It's so awesome.
I was kind of sad that I didn't have my scene together fast enough to see everybody's spreads, but I'm kind of glad I didn't.
Yeah.
Let it influence me at all.
Mm-hmm.
Then I can have a more clean, like A to B kind of, what are those A/B testing things? Like, that's just so rad.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
thanks for bringing that all together.
Yes. So
It's always interesting because the same thing happened last year. There's always like these themes that run through. It's like everyone's reading itself is good to take in, but then it's also kind of cool to take, like you see this overarching theme that's coming through from all the readings too, which maybe just highlights the major things to look out for.
I want to see if I have my spirit animals here, because now I'm so tempted to pull a dragon, but I don't. Oh, I do have them here. I wanted to pull what's our spirit animal for the year, and I forgot I wanted to do this. So I'll do it really quick.
And if the dragon comes out, we're all gonna flip the tables.
Oh my gosh. Okay, no pressure cards. Hold on. Let's really knock on them. Let's shake loose any kind of extra energy. Sorry, I've been ignoring chat, everybody. I just get so into just talking my face off.
Whether you're used to it on this show, we ignore chat on the witching hours.
Well, this is we don't get to chat as much as we'd like to.
Oh yeah, because this is the podcast.
Yeah,
okay.
we're normally so what we do typically on here is like if people have questions, we have them highlighted, and then so we try to make sure we catch up with them. But yeah, we usually have like a long conversation, so a lot of times it's hard to get to. But
it's not a dragon, but it's something with wings.
There we go.
A hawk messenger. I'll take it. Spirit is sending you messages. Open your greater vision to see the signs. Focus on priorities and eliminate distractions. You have a bright future. Let yourself ascend to new heights.
Perfect.
That goes well with that. Kind of feeling like we're stuck in the boat and who forgot the paddles and snaps because we're like freaking out in the boat. Like remember, you have a bright future. Let yourself keep moving forward.
Perfect. That was a perfect card. We didn't need the dragon. The hawk was.
And I do best at it. Nope, didn't do it. I was like, okay, first card. You all like, and everybody who has cards in general, like, do you ever do that? You're like, oh, I'm gonna pull this card, and then when you pull it, you're like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Well,
when it happens.
I got that because I've just started reading. Well, I guess it's been a couple of years now, but like I just started reading tarot just to kind of see what it was all about. And of course, I'm married to medium Ginny Lee, so I was like, well, let me see if I can. And it's absolutely amazing every time I do a reading. It's like, man,
how does it work?
Really
it's bananas. I just don't believe it myself. I can't, like, I'm constantly trying to prove it to myself.
Yeah.
Trust it.
That's what it is for me. I mean,
YoErika.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jen.
You just trust it. And I think that's what I've learned in my little journey on this is that once you stop questioning it and you just lean into it, it just, the sky's the limit, really.
Yes, that has been something I really was focusing on this year, was to really lean into it, because you hear the more you lean into it, the more it's going to flow for you. And it just makes sense with anything in general. The more you lean into it, the more you can get your groove. Priestess of Wonderland wrote, Hawk can pick you back up and put you on track.
There you go.
Give me.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, it flies like a dragon.
Yes, and it's most of them are red, which dragons got that fieriness.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yes.
This is rad.
YoErika, once again, you've given us a wonderful set of predictions for next year. I always enjoy the way that you think about your spread and the things that you ask the cards. It's great.
Thank you guys for having me again. This is awesome to get to do this. And thanks for recapping last year's, because I kind of just was in the moment with this year's. Yeah.
I write them all down. I went through the day and watched some of it just to kind of make sure we had everything that we needed to kind of go over them today. We got some more that we'll go over here in a little bit, but it was great having you on last year, and it's great having you on this year, and hopefully we will do it again next year. That's the plan.
And hopefully some other collaborations.
Yeah, and we said it last year. Cool. So this year we have to make there has to be some collabs. There has to be some collabs. That's my goal for this year, is to do more collabs. It's fun. I mean, there's like so many crossovers in the community anyway that I think it's just enjoyable. It's enjoyable.
I agree. You get so much out of it. On just the chat, us, like the exchange of just inspiration is just so priceless.
Yeah, and then like so tonight it's been working without a couple hiccups. This thing's been working, the stream together thing. So that makes it even better because then you can have like your stream and someone else can be doing their stream, and you guys can play a game together or something, or hang out, and it all works together. So maybe that's my prediction for 2024.
Technology bringing us together and collaborating even more. Like,
yeah, which is kind of needed, I think, right now. Like just the socialization and like last year there was a big focus. A lot of the readings were focused on the individual, and I think this year there's been a focus on the community, a little bit more on the community and helping people out. And so we'll see what we have going on.
Cool.
Most of the people in the witching hours, the people who hang out with us on the witching hours, I'm sure are already following YoErika, but I put the link up. So shout out to YoErika. If you're not following YoErika, you need to go give her a follow, because YoErika is my go-to for hangout. I was over there last night playing What's a Music, which was an awesome time.
That was so rocking.
Yeah, that was a really fun time. I played late into the night. I think Jenny had already gone to bed, and I was still like, all right, let's go.
I was passed out yesterday.
And so I always go to YoErika's stream to hang out, and lots of cool, not just tarot, but lots of cool games and party games and Jackbox and all kinds of stuff. So if you're looking for some fun people to go hang out with, go check out YoErika if you aren't already.
Yes.
Thank you for that. Hell yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, and then that way you can hear what kind of music Giant of the Frost loves and what was his first song that he really connected in with. If he had to quit his job, what song would you play to your boss? You know, things like that.
Yeah, it's a lot of metal mixed with Funky Town is the way it went last night.
I dig it.
But good times. All right. All right, YoErika. Well, we will catch you later, and let's get something together for down the road.
Cool.
Yay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate this. And thank you, everybody in chat. Sorry I ignored you. Love you.
Yeah, we love chat.
Thank you, Erica.
Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye. So we're almost done with the stream. We still have a little bit more things to do. I wanted to see what my predictions were for last year and tell you mine. And Frosty has a word for next year.
And we still got the news.
We're gonna finish up the stream with the news instead of starting it with the news. So
we normally start with the news.
There's still more coming. So Frosty, let me know, what were my predictions for last year.
All right, let's check it out here. Medium Jenny Lee, predictions for last year. Well, you talk to the guides, higher self, and the great spirit.
Yeah.
And the words they gave you was discovery, connectedness, communication, and love.
Nice. They gave me some not nice words this year.
You asked about challenges, and they said anger, frustration, hate, and bigotry. You said how to overcome, and they said trust, happiness, and look within.
Oh yeah,
Go figure.
Those were the key ones for all eternity. Trust, happiness, and look within. Yes.
Overall, you said for 2023 that things were going to be more even keeled than they were in 2022. That financially things were going to stay the same. That there was going to be no
really shit. Yeah.
Yeah. No improvement. That it wasn't going to improve, but it really wasn't going to get any worse. Things were going to be shifting. There were going to be events that caused people to come together because they were traumatic. And more people were going to turn to the spiritual for their answers.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I think that was pretty good.
The spiritualism, I mean, we talked about that on the show before. Well, two places. I remember going into, kind of mainstream retail stores, that have tons of spiritual items in them now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
T-shirts with spiritual slogans, and like even seeing like tarot decks and stuff in like mainstream retail stores.
Yeah. Which is
rocks
strange.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's definitely been a trend for the mainstream for spiritualism right now, which I think has, you know, been going that way. But... Yep. So what do you have for this year?
Well, put your seatbelt on, people. So this year, I just asked whoever was going to help with the questions. I don't know who it was, just in my meditative state. Thanks, Luke. I'm glad you guys are clicking your seatbelts on. Okay. So, and MYKLMantis, humanity as a whole, the very first things they said were fear, terror, and frustration. I was like, oh shit, thanks. Appreciate that. And they said because of more war, death, destruction, and climate change is like, we can expect more of that, which, I think some of them tarot readings you guys were doing had some of that stuff in it. It's like, there's going to be more of the same terrible shit happening, maybe in a different way. But there's good news. So they also said joy, togetherness, and renewal, which we love that word, right? Some renewal. Searching and seeking within to find, people will be searching and seeking within, more people, to find their own souls, which is going to lead to more connections to each other, to source and oneness. So it's like even more people than this past year. It all kind of started with 2020. Like the pandemic made everybody stop, and we had to start realizing that we actually exist instead of just working for $1, and then that's just continued. It's continued and continued and continued. And now there's going to be an even bigger influx of people trying to figure out who they really are, which is going to lead them to more connections, which is exactly what many people were talking about in their predictions. That came out in many people's predictions that we talked about earlier. So and that was humanity. The togetherness. And then also like the idea that one of the things that popped in my mind when you were talking about that was this idea too, that like, if you like helping people is good. And that's a wonderful thing, but you typically don't have to help people if everything is good. If they, obviously there's going to be people that need help. So exactly. Yeah. Yes. So then I asked about planet Earth. What can we expect for planet Earth? And this was, I think, a positive thing. Maybe because of something that's not so positive, but they said there's going to be an urgency of people coming together to find solutions to help fix and clean things for Mother Earth. So an even greater sense of urgency people are going to have to try and start finding solutions and fixing things and making it better. So I think that was positive. Good. That's good.
Yeah.
But then wait. Because then I asked, what can we expect for the USA? And you won't believe what happened. That someone started laughing. And I was like, well, damn, they're laughing. This cannot be good. So they said there's a crumbling of old structures that's going to make us feel unstable and off balance, which we were talking about that last year too, that it's going to be the start of a restructuring period. But, basically it sounds like for the US, the 2024 is going to be a tower moment. Okay. But, in the tower card, the shit falls apart so that you can have something way better get built after it. It's that burning the field down that Priestess of Wonderland was talking about. You're just going to set the shit on fire. And then when it's over, you're going to be able to build something that's much more important and needed. New and needed and important. So there's that. And then I kind of went over this earlier. Yes, renewal. Yes, renewal was one of the words they said. And I kind of went over this earlier. Then I asked, like, what about us? You know, like our collective group of people. They said there's going to be an expansion and an increase of people. We're going to have a wider audience. Some people will be leaving, which we've had that happen over the years anyway. So that's not surprising that we're going to lose some people. There's going to be new opportunities that lead to some changes. And overall, our community is going to continue to help each other through tears and frustration using laughter, joy, and love, which is what I said earlier, which is what other things that came out in other people's readings, you know, helping each other, because there's still going to be some really difficult things that we have to get through this coming year. But it's not, it's kind of like, like what YoErika was saying, you know, we're going to be in the boat. There's no paddles, and nobody brought the damn snacks. They left them on the beach. But we're going to get through it because we've already been through this shit, and we'll just start paddling with our hands, and, you know, we'll eat the person who's complaining or whatever. No, I'm just kidding. So those are my predictions for 2024.
All right. So a lot of turmoil, sounds like. But you know, but there's spiritual growth, more community, reliance on each other, which I think makes sense. I think if we see some of the structures crumbling and they have to be rebuilt, it's going to agree at a time, out of necessity, there's going to be a time where those things have to be rebuilt, where people are going to have to be kind of reliant on each other as a community to get through those times, right? So
yeah, exactly.
And that could be a good thing. That could be something that is that's a positive to go into the new era of whatever. Yeah.
And, you know, I like what Priestess Wonderland said at the beginning of the stream, that the majority of us here in our communities have done the work over the past 3 years of learning how to help ourselves and heal ourselves and work through our shadows and help our inner childs and all of that stuff. So when the other people show up and they're like, hey, I'm a goddamn mess and I need some help, we'll be like, yes, we know how to help you. And we're going to be like that little, what was it called? The Lakitu? Is that what it was? Is that what we finally figured out was called? The little arm that grabs you in the Mario Kart, puts you back on the track. We're going to be that little thing. We're going to help each other. The Lakitu, yes. And then we're going to help everybody else that shows up, and we're going to get through it all, people. I mean, that was kind of the moral of today's story, right? Shit's going to not be so great. There's going to be some more terrible shit. And then guess what? We're all going to be okay because we have each other. We've been through it. We know what to do. There's great, wonderful things ahead of us. We just might not be able to see how it's going to play out, but it's going to happen, and we're going to get there, and it's going to be beautiful and amazing and way freaking better than it ever was. Period.
Well, so for mine, I just asked for a word. We've been out of town for the last couple of days, and then I was getting stuff ready today. So I was going to do a rune reading. I didn't get around to it, but I did ask for a word for 2024 that would kind of sum up a prediction. And the word that I got was regression. Regression. And specifically what came to mind for regression was the state of politics, the state of the economy, not ourselves, not the community, not like what you're working on, what you're doing, but like the things that around us that we're having to deal with, and kind of the structure that we are inside of. There's going to be some regression there, some stagnation. So I would say, you know, election year, the the markets, what's going on with the employment and kind of like that being like rocky waters of like, where are we in terms of like people to work and stuff like that, all that kind of stuff. Those problems aren't going to be fixed this year.
Yeah.
But I did have a feeling that this was kind of the thing that came. So this is kind of the images that came along with that word for me. And the next thing is this was kind of the last year for that. Like this was going to be like the last year of a kind of like this stagnation that has been kind of continuing from 2020. Like this is still going to be a slow year, maybe not a great year. Like things are still going to be not going necessarily the way we want them in that structure. But that was kind of maybe like the last hurrah for that. And maybe we see some.
I kind of feel the same way. And I think a lot of people's, I think everybody else's predictions were kind of, I feel like they're leading along the same path too. Like this is going to be the last year where everything is just a mess. And that after that, things are really going to start changing.
I wanted to say that last year, but I just didn't, it wasn't there. And I think we just had more of it this year. We're going to start to figure stuff out again.
Yeah.
Kind of move into that post whatever the heck world we were in. So,
maybe 2025. We'll see a year from now what y'all's tarot cards are saying next for the 2025.
Do we want to go over some more of the predictions from last year?
Let's do a little bit from Linguist, because Linguist did send us one for this year.
Oh yeah, let's do that. So let's go over some of what Linguist did last year.
And I'll read the new one.
Okay, sounds good. So, so last year Linguist did a tarot pool for the year. I'll go here and kind of do some of the highlights here. There were going to be opportunities available to people, but because of the fear of coming out of the last couple of years, that people were going to play it safe when it came to decision making, and people were going to stay in their comfort zone instead of maybe taking advantage of some of those. So people weren't going to take advantage of opportunities, and they were going to find it difficult to kind of get organized and get moving in the year, which we talked about earlier with Priestess and that long winter. The fear was going to be a big thing. People were going to listen to their fears and not be able to see the bigger picture, which we were just talking about with those opportunities, and that was going to hold people back. There's going to be lots of arguing and communication on who was right and essentially like wanting to stay, to take a side and not give in to the other side.
Which we still had a lot of that.
But despite all that, we were going to learn, and we were going to strive to learn and learn how to be successful. And that even though we're going to go through all this bad stuff, there was going to be a lot of good lessons taken from it and wisdom that was gained from this past year, which I think I can agree with. But not necessarily an easy year, but a lot of learning that took place in the year. So those were some of the highlights from Linguist predictions last year.
2023.
And then specifically at the end here, I said that despite all the hardships, we should look for joy and not fall into a trap of negative thinking. There are people who make us smile, who make us feel supported, cared for. We need to take the time to connect with them and realize that not only does life give us lessons, but also brings people into our environment who are there for us, who can trust, and who can make it easier for us to break the wall we've been banging our heads onto. Trust the process and let the universe guide you, which I think leads perfectly into one of the things we were talking about this year about helping those people. Last year was about the community, like building it, and this year is being able to rely on it.
Yeah. Last year was like finding yourself so that you could find your community. And this year it sounds like you're in the community. So now what are you going to do with it? How are you going to make it better? How are you going to make everything better? Okay. So here's Linguist's prediction for 2024. For a lot of us, a long cycle will end Well, there's that dragon carrying all those wands, right? We're acquiring a new vision on life, our passions, how we see the world, and let go of old beliefs that we're still clinging to. As we restructure in the new year, we will see the substantial growth towards seeing more clearly what is best for us. This will allow us to stand up for what we want and believe. Yes. Yep. Didn't that come up a few times? Mm-hmm. We will continue to strengthen our connection. There's that strength right there. The 8 lion with the community. Yes. And it will grow in numbers exponentially. That's what I was saying. Many will find within the roots of their mind that all the fears were instilled by the energies that don't belong to them. Healing the inner child and allowing the joy to find its way into our daily activities as we restructure and set new plans in motion. Yes. Focusing on what we desire to create will be the biggest aim for the new year. This way, we increase the pace of moving towards the new earth filled with love, light, support for each other, and hope that we can be who we want to be by finding the strength within to listen to the guidance. Isn't it just like rehashing all the things that everybody's saying? We will learn to expand our consciousness more during collective and individual meditations, which is why the trance channeling class took place. It allows for a new formation of connections through fresh channels. Much energy will be received to move through uncertain times. It will be necessary to ask for help if one struggles to let go. That's what Priestess of Wonderland said. Don't hesitate. Angels are there for you. Many other planets will be sending messages. There's MYKLMantis to share with others as we learn to receive the information in less distorted ways. Keep your eyes and ears open for the divine whispers, love and light. Well, dang, wasn't that a great way to wrap up all of the predictions? Because Linguist had it all in there. Everybody's. Even MYKLMantis was in there.
Yeah.
The aliens, man. It's the aliens.
Yeah, there's a lot of themes. It's always interesting. It's to see the hell, there's a lot of messages that you could get, and we're getting the same kind of themes going through the year, and the same thing happened last year. So that's very, very interesting.
I love it. It is a leap year. You're right, Chicago. Mm-hmm. Yep. Those poor leap year babies. They only get to turn a new year every 4 years. Oh, man. Well, the predictions have been absolutely wonderful. Yeah. Thank you to Priestess of Wonderland, Terra Mama, MYKLMantis, YoErika, Linguist, Hoaxsters, everybody that participated and sent us predictions or came on here and put your lovely, beautiful faces or voices.
Yeah. All the people in chat tonight. It's been a madhouse in there.
It has.
Thanks so much for coming in. We got so many follows tonight. We appreciate every single one of them. Thanks so much for coming in and hanging out and chatting it up in there.
So now we're going to end the night with the weird news, right?
Well, I have one more to go over last year. One more prediction we had last year to review, because we had Charity on the show last year.
Yeah. We didn't go over Charity.
And so we want to go over hers real quick. And she was talking about the number 7, and that last year was a 7 year. And people would have to decide to create the life that they wanted. There was going to be a focus on having to create the life they wanted, and they would have to do less. They would do less of what they didn't want to do. So there's going to be a transition of people kind of taking control of their lives. They were going to find out what was important to them. They were going to have more of a connection with the earth and the universe. There was going to be a continuation of a spiritual awakening. And by the end of the year, people would be lighting up because Saturn would go into Pisces. And the last time that happened was 93 through 96. And we had a conversation about talking about certain periods of time where that happened. It happened in 93 and 96. And it also happened during kind of like a good music and art time in the 1970s as well. So it was the last time that it happened. And that people, here's another continuation of the predictions from last year, that people were going to be much more independent.
Yeah.
And then she, Charity, Janice, our friend of the program here, she said that the weather was going to be quirky but not crazy, and that Earth was going to continue to go through a transformation. Kind of talking about the like not crazy weather, but like weird weather. How it'd be really warm one day and kind of really cold the next, and things we're just going to kind of seem out of normal.
Mm-hmm.
So that was our friend Charity.
Yeah.
And her predictions, and I think she hit those. Yeah. And
for sure.
So that was the predictions from last year. So normally when we do the show, we start off with the weird news before we have the guests, but this year we did a little bit different. Yes. So we'll go ahead and get to the news for today. All right, so the first story for tonight was a Tesla engineer was attacked by a robot at company's Giga Texas factory.
It's happening.
A Tesla engineer at the company's factory near Austin was allegedly attacked by a robot, according to an incident report filed with regulators. Although this the attack happened a couple years ago, witnesses allegedly observed the robot at Giga Texas factory pin the engineer and claw his back and arm, causing a trail of blood on the factory floor. Which is revealed in a news report. The robot reportedly immobilized the engineer and left him with open wound on his left hand. The robot was designed to handle freshly cast aluminum car parts. The engineer was able to break free from the assembly robot after a colleague pressed the emergency stop button. Upon being released, the engineer reportedly tumbled a few feet down a chute intended for collecting scrap aluminum, leaving a trail of blood.
Oh, good Lord.
So...
yeah.
Not funny, but just kind of one of those stories. You know, you talk about AI, and there's a lot going on with
taking over.
AI is such a buzzword, and I hate to use it because it's not. It's robots and machine learning and stuff like that. It really is what's taking over. I saw an article the other day. I didn't put it in here either, but they just opened up the first completely automated fast food restaurant in I think it was in California.
Probably. Yeah.
And they have the flippies in there. So like these like big arms with spatulas on them, and they can squish burgers and cook the burgers. The only humans that are in there are ones that like help get like get like some lettuce and tomato and stuff like that together to go on the but everything else is completely automated.
Weird.
So it's where we're moving to.
What was the Tesla factory making? Were they making cars?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cars.
Yeah. Second story for tonight is scientists destroy 99% of cancer cells in the lab using vibrating molecules. Scientists have discovered a new way to destroy cancer cells, stimulating aminocyanine molecules with near-infrared light cause them to vibrate and sync enough to break apart the membranes of the cancer cells. The molecules are already used in bioimaging as synthetic dyes, commonly used in low doses to detect cancer. They stay stable in water and are very good at attaching themselves to the outside of cells. The research team from Rice University, Texas A&M University, and the University of Texas says the new approach is a marked improvement over another kind of cancer-killing molecular machine previously developed called pharyngia-type motors, which could also break the structures of problematic cells. It's a whole new generation of molecular machines that we call molecular jackhammers, says chemist James Tour from Rice University. They are more than 1 million times faster in their mechanical motion than the former pharyngia-type motors, and they can be activated with near-infrared light rather than visible light. The use of near-infrared light is important because it enables scientists to get deeper into the body. Cancer in bones and organs could potentially be treated without needing surgery to get to the cancer growth. In tests on cultured lab-grown cancer cells, the molecular jackhammered method scored a 90% hit rate at destroying the cells. The approach was also tested on mice with melanoma tumors, and half the animals became cancer-free.
Wow. The chat's having a fit because you said the word vibrating. But what I was thinking of was, you know, those like the fat workout machines where it has the strap around your back and then it like, you know, like shakes you around. Like that's what I was thinking about. They're going to put one of those. They're just going to put that on the little cancer cell and it's going to shake it until all the shit falls out of it. No, but that's really cool though. And like, did it say what kind of side effects there were?
No, that was it. I mean, there's something they're still working on, but they're having success with it. I mean, it sounds like they're pretty excited about it. What they said that they tested on mice and half became cancer free, which isn't outstanding numbers. But if you could cure half the people with, I mean, that's pretty good numbers. It's significant.
I mean, instead of having to do chemo and radiation and stuff,
and not having to do surgery
and surgery, and it's like something that, you know, is side effect free. I mean, yeah, that sounds pretty good to me.
Could be a big deal. Yeah. So something to keep in mind on. And if someone, I think YoErika wants to be modded so she can ban Luke. So number 3 for the holiday season. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this story. Flown alone. An unaccompanied 6-year-old put on the wrong Spirit Airlines flight.
No way.
An unaccompanied 6-year-old flying for his first time to his grandmother in Florida was put on the wrong Spirit Airlines flight Thursday. Amid the holiday travel rush, young Casper was supposed to fly from Philadelphia International Airport.
No, it wasn't Kevin.
The Southwest Florida International Airport in Fort Myers. Instead, he boarded a flight to Orlando, 4 hours away from his intended destination.
Oh my goodness, poor kid.
Maria Ramos, the grandmother, told WINK News about the panic that set in when her grandson didn't get off the plane in Fort Myers. They told me, no, he's not on this flight. He missed his flight. He could not.
Oh my God.
Said he could not miss his flight because I have the check-in tag. So essentially, she ended up having to drive 4 hours to go pick him up. He was being taken care of by the attendants working at the other airport, and they were with him the whole time.
Poor kid.
but the mom, of course, is upset.
Ice cream. It's Florida. They can have ice cream in December. Jeez.
But the real question, I think, was, were there any, you know, burglars or anything that tried to...
Wet bandits, yeah. Did he have to put micro machines on the floor of the airplane?
But yeah, for the poor kid, that had to be terrifying.
I know. Good Lord, he's only 6 years old. That's a baby.
Yeah. Too early to fly. I'm trying to think the first time I flew alone. I think I might have been 9 or 10 the first time I flew alone, I think. So... Definitely young.
Poor kid.
But everything turned out okay. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's good.
So last summer, wasn't it last summer we had the Chinese balloons and everything going across and all that stuff that was happening? Next story tonight is...
What are they sending over here now?
Chinese spacecraft emitting strong signal over North America. Earlier this week, China's top secret space plane, dubbed Xinlong, released 6 mysterious objects after reaching the Earth's orbit for the 3rd time in 3 years. We can only hazard a guess as to what these objects, which are being tracked by the U.S. Space Force and designated the names Object A through F by the U.S. Department of Defense, are, or what their purpose is. Amateur astronomer and satellite tracker Scott Tilley has been closely tracking the objects, examining the signals they've been emitting. And as he told the South China Morning Post, they appear to be sending the strongest signals while passing over North America. I'm seeing a pattern in its radio emissions while over me, and it appears to favor low elevation western passes. He told the newspaper this could indicate a clandestine ground station on the west coast of North America or on a ship off the coast. To be clear, Tilley points out this is purely speculation, and we don't even know what the objects are or how they relate to China's space plane.
So do they say what the objects look like?
It didn't say in the article. It just said there was
And they're just like
objects that came out of it.
And they're apparently they're sending fly through the air.
Yeah, they're sending radio signals.
Like they're drones or something.
Yeah, something. I mean, they've been labeled by the Department of Defense. And they're being tracked by the U.S. Space Force. So off we go.
China's sending out stuff again.
Yep. And then the last story for tonight was one I included that Priestess of Wonderland had shared with us. Former Navy Rear Admiral supports UFO whistleblower claims. A former Navy Rear Admiral and administrator of the government's lead meteorological.
That's such a fun title.
Yeah.
Doesn't everybody wish that their title was Rear Admiral? That's the best.
It's one of the highest ranks you can get.
I know. Could they come up with something better?
Yeah.
Anyway, what did the Rear Admiral say?
He says, he believed whistleblower David Grush's claims of a secret UFO retrieval program run by the Pentagon. These are historic times and the growing push for greater government transparency surrounding UAPs. He said he was convinced the story Grush is telling is true based on his experience in the military and government. He also told the news correspondent that there were attempts to cover up UFO sightings by members of the military. He said that the planet has been visited by entities he describes as being non-human. He said he absolutely believes the non-human and intelligent beings are real. We're being visited by non-human intelligence with technology we really don't understand and with intentions we don't understand either, he said. He spent his career serving his country, starting in the Navy, where he worked in areas like aircraft carrier combat operations and assisting Navy SEAL teams during counterterrorism operations, according to his official biography. More recently, he served as acting administrator of the NOAA, the agency that forecasts weather and monitors ocean and atmospheric conditions, where he analyzed the science behind weather and other phenomena. One of my jobs in the Navy, he was the chief meteorologist of the Navy at the time when Orion was encountering the UAP off the U.S. East Coast, he said. And he said he received a video containing the Go Fast video, which shows a fighter pilot's encounter with a UAP from his superior officers. So he's basically corroborating the story from David Grush. So another high-ranking military official, and we talked about that quite a bit earlier in the show. So what does it mean? I don't know. I don't know where we are getting any further with the question, but there's definitely lots of news. I don't know how much is actual information.
No, like Priestess of Wonderland was wondering, why is this not been part of the news like the other one was? And, maybe like what we were talking about before, if they were like, look at this because something else was happening. Maybe there's nothing else happening right now, so they don't need to talk about that, the Rear Admiral guy.
Yeah.
I also wanted to say that I see why that one guest didn't come on the show now, because when we started talking about Rear Admirals, the chat just blew up with all kinds of inappropriate jokes about butts and rumps and whatnot. So yeah, I can see why this
the vibrations and the Rear Admiral just set it off.
We were not serious enough. We were not serious enough for her. So yeah, I think she was right. She was definitely right.
Possibly. Are we going to have to hand out more mod swords?
I mean, if you can't joke around about things. Anyway.
Oh, boy. So I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah. Lots of fun stuff going on. So it's going to be an interesting. I think this is another prediction I have. If anything, it's going to be an interesting 2024 here, talking about this stuff on the witching hours. So
yeah,
off we go.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of really awesome, weird news stories for 2024.
Yeah, and we'll get it to you as soon as it comes across my feed as I'm frantically looking for news stories to add that week. So we'll get there. We got a lot of cool shows coming up. We talked about them earlier. We got MYKLMantis coming on again next week. So join us for MYKLMantis. We got UFO investigators. We have Ron Moorhead coming on to talk about Bigfoot, and we're going to listen to some sounds of Bigfoot, which I don't want to give too much away, but it's definitely worth tuning in for. We're going to have Sarah Bressman Cosme come on to talk about QHHT. We got a lot of stuff coming on, a lot of different topics, and it's just going to keep going. Just going to keep on going through the year. So thanks everyone for coming and hanging out with us tonight. So many of you. Thank you so much once again to Allison, the Priestess of Wonderland, for coming on, for Tarot Mama for coming on, even though she's not feeling 100% yet. She came on.
Yeah.
MYKLMantis for coming on with and talking about aliens with us. Thanks to YoErika for coming on. Make sure you give all them follows if you're not following them already, because the people we had on this week, the people we had on tonight to come talk about 2024 with us are the people that we hang out with and that we watch over here on Twitch. So so they're all good communities to go hang out with. So go check them out. Anything else you wanted to say before we head out tonight, Jenny?
I just thought it was so fun to see all of those communities come together tonight.
It was.
See everybody's, names I know from all the different streams come in and get to talk and chat and hang out and make fun of.
Yeah, it's cool to see so many different people.
Vibrations and things is great.
Yeah. Usually I see Chicago Epsilon and he's always hanging out, and they always beat me at the games we play, so it's nice to see everybody on here. MYKLMantis, I've been checking out his stream. I was watching him earlier. He's playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Cool. Which Frosty wants to buy.
I'm dying to play. Baldur's Gate 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. So I need to jump. I've been waiting to find a time frame where I know I have some time to actually dig into it. So I don't know. You're making me want to play it. So maybe you should get.
So I can blame it on MYKLMantis. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, you can blame it on MYKLMantis.
I'm blaming it on MYKLMantis.
He'll take the blame for that. I'm sure it's okay.
Okay.
We've been thinking about playing it, me having a solo game, but then we've been talking about maybe playing it together too, doing a party. Yeah, a lot of spare time. I know. It's the same way with Baldur's Gate 2. It's just it's a time eater, but it looks so good. All right, everyone. I hope you guys had a wonderful holidays for whatever you celebrated over the time, and continue to have a wonderful new year. We'll be back with you guys next Thursday, so we'll see you all
with
then.
MYKLMantis.
Yeah,
and I'll be on tomorrow night. I'll be streaming tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow night stream with the Friday night stream with Medium Jenny Lee. I think I'm going to be on Monday. I got some new decks to unbox. So
Monday is New Year's Day.
Oh. Well, it might be
on New Year's Day.
Yeah, probably. We'll see. I'll keep you guys updated in Discord. You can check us out on the witchinghourspodcast.com. I have all our guests up there and all that stuff. And we have, I don't have, you haven't packaged up already. We got the Witching Hours ornaments and the book from the contest winners. We're going to be sending that in the mail next
CMC,
week.
Dragon Jules, and Keisha, your things will be in the mail to you soon.
Excellent. Yeah. And if, we got the podcast and all that, the Discord link, you can throw that up in chat there for a journey of self-discovery. We share all the news stuff over there. If you find a news article that you want, that you think is cool for the show, throw it up over there. Conversations, all that stuff. Appreciate everyone. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.